lottery.
My grandfather was born in 1913, grew up in the Depression. His family was stone cold broke his whole life. He always joked that the Depression didn't change his life because they didn't have any money anyway, so it didn't really matter that everybody lost theirs. He could not afford to go to college. He was offered a college scholarship to go to John Carroll University, which is near Cleveland, Ohio, which is where he was from. His scholarship required that he worked for the school, like whether it was the bookstore or a cafeteria, I don't really know, but he had to work for his education. He was the only earner in his family. He had to work for money. He could not trade off his education for money, so didn't go to college. My grandmother's family, ironically, was middle class. Her dad was a lawyer. They lost all their money, so she couldn't afford to go to college, even though her two older brothers did. And when they had means, and arguably before they had real means, giving back was an important part of their life. You know, today, I mean, they set up we've changed the focus, but they had set up, and we have them still today, endowed scholarship programs at a bunch of universities around the country. And that was because it was very personal, right? They couldn't afford to go to college, and they didn't want anybody who had sort of fought their way through the system to be denied the opportunity to go to school because of financial hardship. And the one thing my grandfather always used to say is, look, you're never going to hear me complain about paying taxes, and you're never going to hear me do anything but think about, frankly, giving my money away, because the taxes created the system which allowed me to be successful, and giving back is what we are, frankly, deemed to do. He never looked at how much money he had to define his legacy. Never. I mean, you have to understand, whether I wanted to or not, my grandfather had a no nepotism policy in the corporate bylaws of MCA, so I was not going to go work at the company he built. There was zero chance of that, whether I wanted to or not. I would tell you, if you asked him what was a more important thing for him to do, it would have been, if he could have put me in charge of the company, which neither would he or could he have, or put me in charge of our foundation, 10 times out of 10 he would have said the foundation, because it's more important to him, 100%.
I'm glad that the story started with your grandfather and finished with your grandfather. It clearly the most enduring and defining influence of your life. Okay. And I can only imagine how immeasurably proud your family must be, and he would have been, to see what you're doing and paying it forward. So thank you for paying it forward with us. One more time for Casey Wasserman, please.